Guys, welcome back to the channel. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is finally here. After all those delays, this is the ultimate LEGO game, and having finished my first playthrough, I can comfortably say this game is equal parts fun, goofy, and badass. In today's video, I'm gonna go over 10 noob tips that you absolutely need to know if you're gonna play through LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Guys, if you're new around here, we are a Star Wars gaming channel, and with the release of this new game, we're gonna be covering a lot of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. If you wanna stay in the loop with all the videos, make sure you're subscribed and getting notified, and if you like today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up as that really helps us out in the algorithm. But without any further ado, let's get into these 10 tips that you must know. Rolling right into it. Tip number 1, talk to everyone you possibly can. Now, you can't speak with everyone. You can only speak to the NPCs that have text bubbles over their heads, but you definitely want to do this because they will give you tips about the locations of hidden KYBER bricks, or they'll assign you a side mission that will award you KYBER bricks when you complete it. If nothing else, they'll just give you a helpful hint about the planet that you're on that might tip you off to a secret that you might not have found otherwise. For example, I climbed the trade tower here in Tatooine so I could get to the KYBER brick at the top, but I only found out about the KYBER brick because I spoke with this NPC at the base of the tower, and they told me about it. Sometimes when you speak to NPCs, though, you'll need a translator, specifically a protocol droid or another character that can understand what they're saying. Otherwise, you'll just get the alien language in text, and you won't be able to understand it. Tip number 2, abuse the area of effect attack. What is the area of effect attack? Well, every character in LEGO Star Wars has an attack where when they jump in the air, they slam back onto the ground, creating a shockwave and damaging and knocking down enemies that are caught in the radius. Every character's AoE is a little bit different, either bigger or smaller depending on the character, but they all do the same thing in damaging and knocking down enemies. It's extremely powerful in combat for that reason, but it's also really good in exploration. When you're just walking around the world and trying to collect studs, if you find a cluster of objects you can destroy, just slam them with the AoE and all of those studs will pop out at once. It's a lot faster than just standing there and smacking everything one at a time, and if you combine this with the stud attractor upgrade, you'll be collecting studs really quickly. And that perfectly segues into the next tip. Unlock the stud attractor and speedy sprint upgrades as soon as you can. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Speedy Sprint obviously lets you sprint faster around the worlds, and the stud attractor will literally make you a magnet for studs. It'll make you pull in studs that you didn't even know were there. You can find both of these in the core upgrades, which is perfect because that means it applies to every character that you play as. There are some upgrades that are specific to the different classes, like the bounty hunters or the scoundrels or the Jedi, but the core upgrades apply to everybody. You'll need a total of 60 KYBER bricks to get both of these upgrades to their max level, so definitely look around the worlds for as many KYBER bricks as you can. Moving on, tip number 4 is really helpful. This happened to me a couple times during my playthrough where my character would randomly get stuck in a piece of environment. It doesn't happen always, and LEGO Star Wars is actually pretty smooth in that the characters don't get stuck too much, but it does happen, and if it does, the best way to fix it is just to swap characters. The game will automatically get that stuck character unstuck, but for whatever reason, if it doesn't, you can always use your second character to literally destroy your teammate, and then they'll respawn in an area where they'll be free. Like I said, it didn't happen too much. It mostly happened on the planets where there was a lot of foresty cover, like Dagobah or Takodana. Pretty much anywhere with a lot of trees, you run the risk of getting stuck, so just keep this tip in mind if it happens. Tip number 5, and this one is a big duh if you're not new at LEGO games, but if you are new, this will be helpful. Tip 5, destroy everything. Seriously, half the fun of LEGO games is just destroying the environment. If it looks like it's made out of LEGO bricks, chances are you can destroy it and you'll get studs out of it. It's the best way to keep your stud economy going, and the best way to find any potential secrets too. Also, there were moments during my playthrough where I felt like I couldn't progress or I was stuck on a certain puzzle. If you ever find yourself in that situation where you feel like you can't progress, try destroying anything that's around you. Chances are you have to destroy it and then build it back up, and that's what gets you out of there. Next up, sneaking its way into tip number 6, we have stealth attacks. This one caught me off guard the first time it happened in-game. Getting into shootouts with bucket heads is always a good time, but sometimes you have to take a little more of a subtle approach. In the Skywalker Saga, if you can manage to sneak up behind an enemy, you'll get a prompt for a sneak attack which will let you take them out in one strong blow. Stealth is always a fun element in games, and it holds true here. You do have to be quiet to sneak up behind your enemy. If you move too quickly or if you make too much sound, they will turn around and catch you and you'll lose your chance. Moving along into tip number 7, this is a good general tip for if you have not yet finished your playthrough of Skywalker Saga, but save your studs. Studs are what unlock you new characters and new ships, so of course you want to spend them on those things, but the thing is, when you play through the Skywalker Saga, you'll automatically unlock a lot of the characters and ships that you would spend studs on anyway. There's no point in spending studs on Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker when you're going to be spending half that episode playing as him anyway. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to do this, but I would recommend saving your studs until the end of your first playthrough and then going back and purchasing characters that you missed out on the first time. We are breezing right through these tips, guys. Number 8 is to memorize some basic attack combos. My hat is off to LEGO Star Wars. The combat in this game is very satisfying. Stringing combos together feels great, and that's what this tip is all about. You don't want to simply mash the basic attack button over and over again, because for one, you'll get blocked, but you're also not using all of the attacks at your disposal. One of the best simple combo chains I can give you is to do a light attack, jump attack, jump attack over and over and over again, and you'll just juggle the enemy non-stop until they're dead. This also goes back to tip number 2 and the area of effect attack, where if you can pull off a sick combo, you can finish it with that AoE and take out enemies that are around you. I'm planning on making a full combat guide for the Skywalker Saga. This will include blaster gameplay, lightsaber gameplay, and just all-around melee. So if that interests you, make sure you're subscribed and getting notified so you don't miss when that drops. We have 2 more tips for today's video though, guys. Number 9 is all about KYBER bricks. KYBER bricks are key items. Go for every single brick you possibly can. There are a total of 1,166 KYBER bricks in the Skywalker Saga, and you need these bricks if you want to upgrade your characters. You get these bricks by either completing missions or just finding them in the overworld, and I mentioned this tip specifically about the overworld bricks because sometimes they seem like they're not worth it. Either they're up on a really high ledge or it takes a lot of jumping to get up there, and it's a little discouraging. And sometimes, yeah, you do need a specific character to get to the brick, but just go for it. It may seem out of reach, but chances are pretty high that you can actually get to it because they're usually a lot easier to get than they appear. LEGO's not exactly a game that's known for its challenging factor, so you'll probably get to the bricks fairly easily. And on to our final tip of the video, tip number 10. This one is pretty simple. Mess with some settings. There's actually quite a few that can help you out on your playthrough. A few settings I recommend you change are your fall recovery and your aiming sensitivity. With fall recovery toggled on, you won't lose studs when you fall off an edge, and obviously when you increase your sensitivity, you can aim faster. Everyone has their own preferences though, so just go into the settings, explore a little bit, and figure out what works best for you. And with that, guys, those are 10 noob tips for LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I hope even just one of these helps you out. If they did, let me know in a comment below, and let me know how you're liking the game so far. As of making this video, it's been out for 2 full days. These are 10 tips that I've managed to get in those 2 days alone. With more playtime, there may be more tips to share, and if I get those together, I will definitely have another video out. Once again, guys, if you liked today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe, get notified, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!